Hey guys, quick video today. So I've been making these videos to look at great works of art, namely literature, and kind of investigate why they're so important, why you should care, why you were forced to read them in the past, why you're reading them now, or should read them in the future. And if you never read them, that's fine. I make these to kind of compact and condense the important things and themes and make cultural connections for you so it all starts to make sense about why we're telling those stories, why we look at these paintings, why we listen to this music, how it all comes together and creates a fabric that we live in. So I've been reading The Divine Comedy lately by Dante Alighieri, and I want to do a series on it eventually. I'll probably take a while to get to it and want to make that accessible and attractive to you, but I just want to give you a juicy little tidbit today about something that I noticed this morning while I was on a run relating The Divine Comedy, specifically Dante's Inferno, to Kendrick Lamar's most recent album, Damn. It's a surprising connection, but this is what I'm talking about. These things, these ancient stories can be modernized and updated, and in fact, I don't know if that was Kendrick's purpose, it probably wasn't, but the fact is that Dante's Inferno, Dante's other works are so important, and they're in their cultural framework. They're stories that are being retold, that it's there in an artist's mind, and it's informing them when they're working with inspiration and trying to make meaning out of the life that they're living. So a few things about Dante's Inferno. Dante was exiled from his home city of Florence in 1300, so he's living under injustices in his day. He was exiled by corrupt church officials. And when he writes Inferno, he's writing it as sort of a look at Florentine society, the public life that people have created, how they've created a corrupt and bad public life that it makes it hard for people to deal justly and live well under. So to tell that story about how society got to such a bad place, Dante imagines this hell that he descends down into, and he writes this depiction of hell where there's all these famous members of Florence society in each level of hell. And the levels of hell are characterized by pride, lust, and other things. And as he goes down, he participates in some of those same sins that he sees these famous figures placed in. Now, Dante is led the whole way down by this famous poet named Virgil. Virgil is Dante's idol, alright? He's just fanboying out on Virgil the whole time. Virgil wrote this poem called the Aeneid in 19 BC, and that was kind of the highest mark of poetry from 19 BC up until Dante wrote The Divine Comedy in 1320. So over 1300 years there where Virgil's really the man in the poetic world. And back then, there were no famous musicians or anything. Poetry was really it. You got up and you recited this rhythmic thing that people engaged in, and there was a musicality to it. And so Virgil was the rock star of his day and Dante's idol. And the reason that he's leading Dante through hell is because Dante looks up to him and he understands that he receives much of his inspiration from Virgil. My argument is that Kendrick Lamar is your Virgil. He starts out the album kind of looking at some injustices that he has lived under as a black man, but then he spiritually descends through all the things that he himself is struggling with. He's got tracks on there named Pride, Lust, Fear, God, and other things. He takes a look at how those are the forces behind the injustices that he is experiencing and he can't get out of. So both of these works of art are putting society under the microscope and saying we're responsible for the world we create, but at the same time asking the reader to turn inwardly and look at themselves and see how we engage with those same injustices and participate in them. So my point is that neither of these works of art are any less holy than the other. You may never read The Divine Comedy, but give Kendrick Lamar's album Damn a listen. And when you do, really listen closely because he crafted it so that you would take something away from it.